Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Andy here.
I'm Immy. Have you started already?
Yeah, this is the podcast we've started, bro. Like, come on, get into place. So we've been in a relationship for 6 years, and this video is going out on our 6-year anniversary. So happy 6 years. This is how you celebrate a 6-year anniversary. What the fuck are you doing? Turn your hand the right way.
I have to rotate my whole body to do
High
it that
five.
way.
High five on 6 years. 6 magical years. We're doing this video basically to announce that we're retiring
Retiring.
from relationship.
That's not how that works.
We're breaking up.
We're not.
Okay. We're not breaking up. All right, so let's talk about how much we love each other. So we did come on here to talk about, I guess, like a little celebration. I thought it might be fun to sit down and just do some gratitude, which we do anyway. Every anniversary, you and I do like a annual review, I guess you would call it, of our relationship. We don't go in there and like measure the KPIs and be like, right, how do you think you performed this year, young lady? Well, sir, I actually did a really good job. I think I'd rate myself a 4 out of 5 star. How do you think you did, Mr. Man? And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd probably, I could see myself a 4 out of 5. Yeah. We don't quite do that. But we reflect on like the year, what we achieved together, what we built, what we'd like to do for the next year. That's kind of exciting. You and I love to play this trip down memory lane thing where we will look back, and we do this every single week as well. But every anniversary, we will look back and say, let's think about where we were like a year ago or 5 years ago or 6 years ago when we first started. And like all the things that we now, maybe you wouldn't say take for granted, but like the things we've just integrated into our lives, and it's just normal for us now. But like 2 or 3 years ago, we would have killed to be at this point or to be able to do that or to know that. And that's fun.
And something that, I'm not sure if you even remember, but something that helped with that last year was that I put together a photo album
Yeah, you were so sweet. You made a little scrapbook.
it was a photo album because there was no like
Scrapbook.
craftiness to it. It was just
Scrapbook.
put the pictures in.
It's my 6-year anniversary. It's my special day. And I say we're going to call it a scrapbook. This is my special day.
It's not how that works.
Hey, how come women get to do that on their wedding?
Do you give a shit about the actual ceremony of the wedding, like in terms of
No, but I'm saying that
party planning?
I give a shit about 6-year anniversaries, and this is my fucking special day. Boys, back me up here.
Each to the room. You're
Boys, back
welcome.
me up here. 6-year anniversary
If
is
I
a
were to-
man's special day. You don't talk on my special day.
Okay,
I won't talk on our wedding,
what's
and
the
you don't.
What's the traditional gift for 6 years?
You have to give me a gift because it's my special
Oh,
day.
I've got new gifts.
Wait, you got me a gift?
I got you like 6.
Nice. What is it?
I'm not telling you.
Tell me now. Tell
Part
the
of the
world.
gift, because you don't like giving, because you don't give gifts. So part of the gift to myself is that I make it a surprise every time, and you don't like surprises, but I like surprises.
Anyway, tell your fucking story. Stop interrupting your own stories and tell me your story.
Someone's projecting.
That's probably the number one comment that we get. I'm doing it right now. Where it's like, Andy, stop interrupting the young lady. And I'm like, no, this is our relationship dynamic.
We often have these conversations of like, the audience doesn't necessarily know what it's Andy can actually be like. He's like this, but all the time. Like chaotic.
I am not chaotic.
He's very chaotic.
Go tell your
but
story.
the photo album was a nice way to, I guess, reflect on the past. And I get a lot of pleasure just flicking through old photos.
Me too.
I can be quite sentimental in that respect. And so that was a nice way to do it. It gave a very tangible idea of like seeing where we used to be. And I think sometimes it can kind of trigger memories. Or even you just see how like young you look. And it's not even been that long. And
We used to look so cute.
I look very similar, but in a way it just feels like I'm looking at a different person sometimes. And that can be a nice way to reflect.
There you go. Look, that's the first selfie that we ever took together. I used to have hair.
You did
Look
used
at
to
that.
have hair. I used to like brushing your hair.
What's really funny is we were naked and we were on LSD when we took this picture. She's holding a pink little squirty bottle thing. You're also holding a yellow like countertop wipes. And we're holding that because we noticed while we were on LSD that I'm very pink. I just have a very pink skin because I'm white. And you're very yellow because you're half Asian. And so our racist, beautiful little minds while we were tripping on LSD were like, wow, you're so pink and you're so yellow. And we tried to find the most pink and yellow items that we could find in the house while we were tripping on LSD. And then we took this happy little selfie together.
And last year, I'm not sure if you remember, I painted the squirty bottle and the
Yeah,
wipes.
you painted the things that we
'Cause
were
it
holding,
was
which is very
sentimental to us.
significant to me. That was very beautiful when you painted that. I was like, that's nice. That's one of our first memories and our first selfies together.
Yeah,
It was like us tripping on LSD and
because I used to not like being in photos.
yeah, you didn't. Yeah. You've come a long way in that. That was something that like I gave you a little project when we first started dating, when we were just casual. Because, yeah, you're right. You were so against being in photos, like nude photos, just photos out on the street, photos with your friends. You would never just be in any photos. And I gave you a little project of like, what if every day for 30 days, you take a nude photo of yourself and make it artistic? And you did a really fucking good job. We are obviously not going to show those on the screen right now. So like everybody fucking put your vaginas and your dicks back in your pants. But like,
I went above and beyond too. So I didn't just take selfies. I got my DSLR out and my tripod, and I would take like hundreds of photos in like different lighting. I treated it like a serious like project. It wasn't just like I'm going to take a little shitty selfie each day.
your photos were highly professional. And that like really helped you become a more confident person, funnily enough.
Now I love being in photos. I
Yeah.
enjoy it so much, and it's
Yeah.
like a nice kind of self-indulgent sort of thing. Yeah, and I guess circling this back to the topic, like part of I guess this conversation, or even what we're doing now, is reflecting on the relationship and the various stages of it. And I guess there's a lot that's happened, and it's easy to forget that sometimes, and forget how much has changed. And it can be nice to reflect upon that. And the way that we generally like to spend the days, it's just sometimes we'll do an activity or go out together, or like we're going to a little spa. But a lot of it is just about spending time with one another, reflecting.
Yeah.
Having
you're
intimate
so pretty.
time.
You're so nice. Yeah. That's how you build a strong relationship, guys. You just go like,
You always
you're
touch.
so nice. You're so pretty. You just like touch her face like this. This is
I'm like-
affection. Guys, no, listen, I'm trying to teach these fellas something, okay?
Okay.
You know how people will often say like, how do I escalate? How do I like touch a woman? How do I like make it known that I'm into her? How do I like go back to my apartment with her? Like, how do I touch her? Here's how you do it, guys, right? So you're on a date, okay? And she's there and she's very pretty and you're like, damn, I really want to touch her. Here's your fucking like guide to escalation. You just go like this. You just like this. This is literally how you touch them. See? Like this. You just go like this. So you
Not
just go like
that.
this.
Not like that, because you
just
know
put
how to
the
do
hand
it
there.
nicely, and you're choosing
That
not
is
to.
that is nice. That's nice. And then she goes, wow, look at this guy. He's so like confident. He's able to just like touch my face. And if you can pat the head as well, don't mess up the hair. They get angry about that.
Yeah, and you like flatten it. You like do this,
I do,
and it's like
I
that's
do.
not how I want the hair
But
to
you
be.
do that. And then, okay, we won't show on YouTube, but you ask permission first. You say like, can I touch the boobs? And then she'll say like, no, you can't touch the boobs yet. Or she'll say, you can touch the boobs yet. I won't show it obviously, but you just basically like touch the boobs and just like, dung, 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 dung. You give them a little tap as well. Boobs are so much fun. And then what you really do, if you want to have fun, you kind of like jiggle the boobs like this.
So if you're ever curious about what Andy's like for the most part, like outside of content and coaching, this is what it is.
This
like.
is Andy normally.
Which is funny because this is not what you were like when I met you.
How was I like when I met you?
You're a bit more like
Alpha male. I was like very alpha male stoic. I was always trying to put on this like serious fucking facade. Do you remember? Yeah. I would like never relax and be silly and have fun. Shout outs to, okay, in the content, you know how I'm like quite silly in content sometimes and I'll make jokes and be a bit like not taking it super seriously. Yes. Shout outs to Crisis Overcomer, also known as Fotis. He's one of the moderators on my forums, which they're no longer my forums. I have handed them to all of you. But he wrote me this big long message. This is like, God, like 5 years ago, when all I had was just a blog. I didn't have YouTube or anything like that. Because I'd done some coaching with him. And he was like, the way you come across on coaching calls, you have so much personality, so much humor, so much love, so much like excitement. That is not coming across in your content. Why don't you give yourself permission to do that? And for like, it took me a good year or two before I really embraced that. And I had his words, like I had him. He's a beautiful Greek man. And he probably eats a lot of feta cheese. The girl that we're seeing right now is in fucking Greece.
And she sent us a message like, first day I'm in Athens airport. My first meal has been feta cheese and like
I know. And
bread,
I was like,
and it was great.
Bro, that's like so stereotyping, but like, yeah, it's true. Greeks just eat only feta. They'll eat lamb sometimes and like the occasional bit of like pita bread, but it's just straight up feta cheese diet. They must like be very clogged up on the toilet. Anyway, long story short, what the fuck was I saying? I forgot. Being funny. So shout outs to Fotis or Crisis Overcomer, because he's the reason that he's like a big part of the reason, honestly, that I started being a bit more fun and carefree and enjoying the content. He was basically like, you're allowed to enjoy what you're doing. It doesn't have to be this like hardcore serious thing. So big shout out to him. So many people have helped us like build all of this shit. Hey, Ravi. We got to give a shout out to my boy Ravi. Ravi, I swear to God, like every time I check on my phone, look, I'll show you right now. Every time I fucking check my phone, I swear to God, once a week, this guy, look at this. He's just recording me like 2-minute long messages just saying like, yeah, I love you, brother. Just like gratitude. He did one the other day. He's like, bro, my life is like so beautiful and it's all thanks to you. Thank you so much. Like I was crying on the street the other day and just thinking about how much I'm grateful. Like Ravi is like so fucking nice. And
Just
he's
come a
helped.
long way, because I remember you telling me stories where he was really struggling and he was like angry, and it doesn't feel like that long ago.
Ravi used to be like me. He went through a period where he hated women and he was unbelievably mad at women. He was mad at society. He was mad at the world. I think a lot of us go through that. But yeah, Ravi's like the most loving person now. And he's like very nice to women. He's like, I love women. They're so nice. I love men. They're so nice. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's reminisce, lady. Let's reminisce about some fun memories of our last 6 years. Maybe the points that you remember the most.
One of the things that meant a lot to me was our first road trip. Like the first time, it wasn't really sexual, and we just sat on a train for a few hours, and we went into rural Victoria.
Out
And
into the bushland.
yeah, when we went with the girl that we were seeing at the time, and I just remember it being a really nice day and it feeling really special, because you're the first person that I've ever dated. It felt like something very intimate, and it's very unpleasant.
I'm trying to show you affection while you tell this nice story.
And romantic. And yeah.
It was a very romantic road trip. So for full context, before that, so we're dating fairly casually. This was like, I don't know, like 6 months into it. And we were still pretty casual. We hadn't done anything that wasn't sexual. Like basically every time we met up, it was like, we're going to have sex. And we'd hung out and stuff as well after sex, but it was always sexual. This was the first time where it's just like, let's just hang out. And that's something that we do a lot now with the girls that we see. We'll just hang out with them quite a lot. Like it isn't always sexual. But that for me was a big step, because I was very deep in all the masculinity content and like the red pill content and the getting laid content and all of that. And all of that said over and over again, every time you meet up with a woman, you must have sex with her. If you're not fucking her, then you're her girlfriend. I had that so drilled into my head. And so it was a big leap of faith for me to be able to sort of just go on a road trip with you and this other girl that we were seeing. It was like a little menage a trois and just have a nice time.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because I think that was one of the moments where it made me really, really like you, because it felt quite intimate, because we were like out all day, like from morning until evening. And I remember coming home at sunset, sitting on the train, looking at like the rural countryside, and the sun was setting, and like putting my head on your shoulder. It was a really nice day, and the pictures from that point in time mean a lot to me.
Yeah, we do that, like I said, a lot more with girls now, where we will just hang out with them sometimes, and maybe we have sex, maybe we don't, maybe we go hiking, maybe we go rock climbing, we went bouldering the other day. We'll just hang out with people and have a fun time. And yeah, it's funny, the fears that I used to have come from this very like scarcity mindset place, or this fear-based place of like, if I ever have a time where I hang out with a woman during casual sex and I don't have sex with her, then she won't like me anymore. She'll think that I've lost my fucking masculinity or something. But time and time again, basically every girl that we've ever dated, including you, likes that kind of stuff. It's such an obvious statement to us now, but it took me so long to realize this. If you build a connection with someone outside of the bedroom, outside of sex, you're now more connected with each other. They're more likely to stick around. But I think back then I was so hell-bent on being what you might call a fuckboy. And I mean that in a loving sense, but I literally just wanted to have sex, nothing else. And yeah, lots of girls didn't stick around. Most girls didn't stick around, because I wasn't giving anything more than that. And it's quite easy for a woman to get sex. And even if the sex is pretty fucking amazing with me, she can just go meet some other guy who'll give her sex that might not even be as good as the sex I can give, but she'll have sex and she'll get to have a little bit of a connection. They'll get to hang out. They'll spend some time together outside the bedroom. So it's so unbelievably obvious now, but that was probably one of the first times, and I'd done it in the past, like hung out with people non-sexually, but that was a really big moment where I was like, okay, let's take like this big freaking leap of faith, like with you. And that started building the relationship.
What other memories stand out to you?
My memories that stand out, so a little further along than that, was a conversation where I think we'd been seeing each other for about 9 months at that point. We both loved each other. We'd told each other that we loved each other, but we were still quite casual. I was seeing other women. We were having threesomes together a lot of the time, but I was also seeing other women. We had a conversation where I basically was like, what do you want? What do you want from this? We basically had a discussion of like, do we want to like build something here? Like, do we have something that we want to keep building? And we had built a lot by that point. We had pushed each other with our goals. We had, like I said, been seeing each other for about 9 months at that point. We'd had plenty of road trips and days where we just hung out all day, and we were seeing each other multiple times a week, and we really loved each other and all of that. I basically said, what do you want? Like let's talk about what we want. And you said, I want to build something with you. Or I think maybe I'd started the conversation and said, do you want to build something? I think we have a foundation. Do you want to like fucking build something? I don't know what that means, but do you want to build something with me? And you were like, absolutely, I do. You were looking into my eyes and you were kind of like crying in a good way. And you were like, yeah, let's build something. And I said to you, like, what do you want? Like, what do you actually want from this? And you were like, I want to be together for a long time. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, how long is that? And you, bless your little heart, you came up with a number and you were like 50 years. And I was like, I can give you 50 years. I was like, very like matter of fact. I was like, fuck yeah, I can give you 50 years.
Doesn't
and
make
you're
you
like,
80.
yeah, I'd be old by then.
We're covering a lot of time.
And we've joked many times that like when I turn 80 and it's been exactly 50 years, I'd be like, listen, Imogen, it's been a good 50 years, but you only asked for 50 years. And so, yeah, we're going to have to break up now. Yeah, it's been great knowing you after we've been together for like 50 fucking years. Yeah, but that's a very meaningful moment to us, because that was the moment where we decided to, I guess, build. And we'd already been building for about 9 months at that point. Like I said, we loved each other. We had a really fucking strong connection. We were seeing each other a lot, pushing each other with goals. We were both very independent people, but we'd built a lot together. And then we just went even deeper. So that was very meaningful.
And I guess ultimately around the conversation of anniversaries and what we like to do, I think if you're somebody that is in a relationship and would like to do something similar to what we do and kind of have that annual day together where it becomes more of a day to, I guess, reminisce or be grateful or continue to build the relationship, I think just reflecting upon some of the most meaningful memories can be really special.
Another meaningful memory are tattoos. I'm going to show off your little tattoo. We both have tattoos. Both of our tattoos have a moon on it. And that was a conversation that was very meaningful to us. Were we tripping on LSD at that point? We did a fair bit of psychedelics in the start of our relationship.
Really though, like the amount of times that we mention it, but like not, and we haven't in years.
Okay,
and
we
years
tripped
and
at
years.
least like 3 times together.
Sure.
I guess that's not a lot, is it?
In like the first couple of years, and it's been like.
Okay, sure. And we haven't done any for like. We were on LSD, I think. I had taught you a few goals by that point. I taught you the process of self-improvement. I taught you how to set goals, how to take baby steps towards them, how to take action, how to measure your progress, what to do if you're not making progress, how to keep yourself accountable, all of that kind of stuff. And you'd achieved a few goals by this point. And I remember you were so unbelievably happy about it. And I was so unbelievably happy about it. And you were basically like crying with joy. And I said to you, like, look, now you're starting to understand self-improvement. You're starting to understand that if I want something, I can just take a series of steps towards it and I can make it happen. And maybe anything is possible. You know, most of us go through our early years, or a lot of people go through their whole life believing a whole bunch of shit that they want is just impossible. And the life that they have right now, they're stuck in it. And even if they hate it, even if they hate their fucking job and they're not that attracted to their husband or wife and their kids don't respect them, bad luck, you're stuck, nothing you can do about it. And you came out of that because you were someone that had a very stuck mindset and a very hopeless mindset. And I have to do everything my parents tell me, and I have to do the life that I've been told I have to have. You came out of that into starting to believe that, like, holy shit, I can achieve goals. Anything I want, I can have. And I said to you, look, like, I will help you with this. I will mentor you. You've already like listened to me. We already have a strong connection by this point. We already love each other. Like, I will help you get whatever it is that you want. And I kind of said, I'll get you anything. Like, and you obviously have to be the one to do the work, but I'll get you anything you want as long as you're willing to work for it. I'll even get you the moon if you wanted it. And that's my tattoo. It's a boy holding a moon that looks like a balloon, and he's handing a girl a moon.
And my tattoo is similar in theme, but it is like a little rocket ship going towards the moon, and it's like in a little diamond-y sort of pattern.
Yeah, and that symbolizes you're the rocket ship, sort of like going to the moon, getting whatever goals you want.
Yeah.
That was very meaningful to me. That was like one of our most meaningful conversations. Like the moment you really, really, really understood that anything you wanted, you could have, and every problem has a solution, and there are always baby steps that you can take. And if you just persevere, you will eventually get to your goal.
And Andy, you mentioned the goals that I set for myself that you introduced me to, and we went through like the formal goal setting process that we were using at the time. And one of those goals was that I wanted to be able to do 2 chin-ups from like a dead hang, because as somebody that was always not super happy in their body and didn't feel very athletically capable, that just felt like something quite cool. Like I even remember being a kid and there was the high rope in the school gym where it's very high, and I'm surprised they let children go up like 15 meters just climbing a rope. Like I'm sure there's been broken anyway. But I was never able to do that. Like I never had the strength because I was always a bit of a chubby kid. And so that felt like something that was special to me. And I specifically remember I'd come back from a long holiday and we'd tried it, and that night I couldn't do it. And because I was training it every day because I wanted to get this, we went the next day and I managed to get it. And you were there the first time I did it and you recorded it. And I was just super, super happy.
And go. Yep. Now crank out the second one. Go, 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 go. You were so unbelievably happy. Yeah. You were like giggly and happy, and we went and celebrated. That was one of the first big goals that you achieved. That at the start you couldn't do a single chin up. You just progressed. You did it every single day. You took a little bit of action every day, trained it a little bit, and then it wasn't that long. It was only like a month or 2 later. You were able to do 2 from a dead hang, like 2 proper chin ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say you don't feel athletic, because you rock climb, you boulder, you hike, you did cheerleading, you did volleyball, you right now do pole dancing, which is incredibly fucking athletic. You were a swimming instructor, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you won a competition. What else? I probably missed stuff. We played tennis and you'd never played it before. You could at least hit the fucking ball and like keep it in. Yeah, I think...
But sure, there's bits and pieces, and I think over time...
I think you're athletic. You know that. You're just being fucking...
That.
Hi, my name's Imogen, and I like to be hard on myself. Good thing Andy never does that. It's just Imogen who is ever hard on herself. Andy's never hard on himself, ever. I'm sure all of you listening, never a single time have ever been hard on yourselves. You're all very loving and patient and kind with yourself, and it's just Imogen who puts a lot of pressure on herself to be perfect at everything. The rest of us are really perfect at being imperfect, aren't we? We're all really good at giving ourselves permission to suck.
But the point being, there's lots of nice memories, and it's nice to think about them.
I also like all of our weekly check-ins that we do, where every single week we will go for a long walk, or we'll go for a hike, or we'll go on a road trip, and we just do our accountability check-in. We have a whole bunch of questions that we ask each other. Those questions have changed over time. We're constantly changing them depending on what our current goals are and what we want to work on and what we care about, what we want to focus on. But it's really nice to have that day where we get to talk about our individual goals and push each other and be each other's biggest cheerleaders. And then on top of that, we get to talk about relationship goals. Like, what are we grateful for in the relationship? What's 3 things that we feel like we did really awesomely this week? What 3 things do we want to focus on next week to build the relationship? How can we keep making it better? We've had periods of time where there might have been some like relationship problem or relationship like hurdle to overcome, or some tension, and then we'll make all the questions about that for that week. We've had periods where we don't feel like we've had as much sex as we want to and been as intimate as we want to, and so we'll put that in there. Those are questions that are in there right now. It's like, were we intimate 3 times this week? You know, either sexually or foreplay or just like laying on the couch and making out for a while. Like, were we intimate this week? If not, that's cool. Let's like do it next week and focus on it. So we change the questions over time depending on what we're currently working on.
Yeah.
But that feels like that's been the glue that's held the relationship together. I said that to you from the very start when we first thought about doing it. I was like, this is the shit that's going to like keep us together and build something beautiful.
Yeah, and it was funny actually, the natural evolution of it, because initially it was just me asking you questions weekly, and it was mostly business focused.
Like, you were keeping me accountable.
Yeah. And then at some point we're like, I want you to ask me questions. And it wasn't so much about the relationship, but it was just about goals. Like, are we staying on track with our goals? It was more like a progress check-in. And then over time, the day that we do that has become quite special to us, and we've evolved it to be more about our relationship. Still, we have things that we focus on for ourselves.
Yeah.
And as you said, like, there's been many, many iterations of the questions that we ask one another, depending on, I guess, what we're focusing on at that point in time.
Yeah. I really do want to underline it. I really think that's the glue that's held us together. There's been a lot of things that have helped us build something really quite beautiful. If I'm going to rank the things that I think have made us successful, that's got to be the number one.
I think because it basically just gives us the opportunity, like, if we're not feeling too good, like sometimes you can kind of just go through the daily motions and you might not be feeling great or something might feel off, but you kind of just, you fall into your routine, you keep going. It's easy to gloss over some of those things, but I think when you're having dedicated time to bring up anything that you would like to talk about, it almost guarantees that nothing gets bottled up for too long. And sometimes we might even not address certain things one week, but after enough check-ins, eventually stuff does come out. So nothing ever goes that long without us talking through it.
It's like a nice little, like you said, guarantee that nothing will ever get suppressed. Because a lot of couples, we're not married, but a lot of couples will go years, sometimes even their whole fucking life, having some point of tension. Like, my husband's always fucking making eyes at his secretary, and they just like never bring it up. They just suppress it forever. And it causes this tension. It causes this resentment. It's this sort of like passive aggressive stuff that can be there. Understand, if you're ever passive aggressive with your partner, it's because there's something that you've suppressed. If you're ever just looking at your partner and feeling some sort of like resentment or just like, ugh, like I don't like them, it's like there's something there to talk about. And having those weekly check-ins means that it never builds up and goes so long that we don't address it. It's literally like us doing couples therapy every single week with each other. And like I said, we get to push each other with our own goals as well. It's like, how can I facilitate your greatness? How can you help facilitate my greatness? How can we facilitate our own greatness and our own independence? And then how can we keep building this? It's like brick by brick, we've built this relationship. It literally has been one brick at a time. At this point, we've done what? I mean, if you add it up, it's going to be like 250, 300 weekly check-ins. If any of you want to do this, you can make the check-in as short or as long as you want. But we will almost always spend the entire day talking about it. Like at least 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. Some days we just spend the whole freaking day talking nonstop about like whatever it is that might be bothering us, whatever might be upsetting us, whatever like we're excited about. That's something else we do a lot. How many times have I said to you, I'm so excited for our Monday that's coming up because I want to brainstorm business ideas. I want to brainstorm content ideas. I want us to talk about how we can take the thing to the next level, how we can pay the bills, how we can change more people's lives. I want to talk about the women that we're dating and like how we can make that really fun. I want to talk about like photo shoots that we're going to do with women. I want to talk about losing weight. I want to talk about you losing weight or me losing weight. Like we get excited. And then on Monday, we're basically just spending that whole fucking day exciting and getting excited, pushing the other person to be even more excited. And that's something I really, really, really look forward to.
Yeah, you sent me a text as I came over here this morning.
I did,
literally
yeah.
saying like, here's some things that I would like to talk about on Monday.
Yeah.
Because to be clear, our check-in is on a Monday.
Yep.
Which is really nice because it's like everyone's back to work day and it's our day off.
Everyone fucking hates Monday. Not
like
everyone.
Our religious day off.
Yeah, we love Mondays.
Yeah, and to be clear, if implementing a weekly check-in, I know we've done videos specifically about weekly check-ins before.
We have.
But if it is something to implement, and I know we've had clients that we've recommended this to in the past, and they've said it feels like a bit of a chore, it's kind of just like a checklist and it takes a while and you're sitting there and it's like, that's definitely not the way that we address it. We're always doing something as we do. We're going for a walk, we're doing an activity, we're always doing something. We usually plan a fun activity for the day.
Yeah.
And so it's just the natural focus of the conversation throughout the day, rather than we're going to be sitting down all day and just answering questions and talking. And especially if it's like, it's not something you're very practiced at, it mightn't be enjoyable, whereas it is enjoyable for us, but it might be enjoyable if you're not used to doing this, to talk about the relationship for like 7, 8 hours.
To be clear, it's allowed to be enjoyable. That's the point you're making.
It's meant to be.
Yeah, we do it because it's fun. It's not like we, as you said, we don't sit there and be like, how did you go with your goals this week? Ugh, okay, well, I went like this. It's not a chore. It's fun. We're walking, we're going for a walk, we're going for a hike, we're doing other shit, and we're just kind of having a conversation for the entire day. And like I said, most of the time, the weekly check-in is exciting. We spend so much of it excited and going, how can we make this even better? Rather than like, oh, couples therapy. Oh, God, okay, like, what did we do wrong? Like, what are you going to yell at me for? You're going to nag me because I didn't put the dishes away. Like, no, it's like an exciting thing. It's like, hey, listen, I'm really upset that you didn't put the dishes away. And I'm like, awesome. Like, how can we resolve that? Well, I think maybe like I can let go of the need for you to do the dishes. Like, yeah, that would be great. Maybe I can chip in every now and then and do some dishes. Like, how would that feel? Yeah. I'm excited for that. So like, we're excitedly looking for solutions rather than complaining about problems. I want to make that very clear. Probably the thing that would help the most is, I've mentioned this a billion times, go grab the Play to Win video course. It's like, I talk about all this kind of shit, and I have a chapter on there about like excitement and positive and having a growth mindset. That's how we are on our weekly check-ins. It's like, I'm fucking excited to build this relationship, rather than, oh God, this is a chore that I have to do, otherwise she's going to break up with me. It's coming from a happy, excited, fun, energetic place.
Yeah. Obviously, we have lots and lots of very happy memories over the last 6 years. And I think for the sake of keeping this podcast helpful, we're probably not going to go into detail of every single one. But if it's something that you're just more curious about our relationship or want an update on, you can let us know in a comment, and we can talk about more like what the process of our relationship has been like.
Almost like going through like chronological, like the big pivot points that we think really helped our relationship a lot.
Yeah, because we have certainly learned a lot along the way.
Yes.
And there's been, I've made the comment before, and I think you've agreed that different people put into the same circumstances, I wouldn't blame them for breaking up.
Basically, what you're saying is we went through a lot of hurdles, and there's a very good chance that we could have broken up. In fact, we did break up 2 times for like a few hours one time, and then a day the other time. But yeah, we went through a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So if that's something you would like to hear about, let us know.
Hell yeah.
Do you have something cool to read out?
No. Oh wait, yes, I'm full of shit. Let's read this. Would you like to read that, lady? Because you're so pretty, and I think pretty people read better. Like it's a fact.
Just dropping in to give an honest testimony. Working with Andy changes you for real. I've been struggling with myself since the pandemic hit, especially with women, self-confidence, and self-forgiveness. I was putting all this pressure on me to be an unrejectable version of myself, and I was punishing myself hard whenever I failed, since my ego can barely take it. Our call started with me asking the wrong questions, of course, since I was just obsessed with my first time with a girl that is no longer interested in me. Andy instantly recognized the struggle I had letting go and accepting that I can't control everything, and helped me through it while hyping me up to keep me going and meeting other girls. He was completely right when he told me that she is not the only girl that will find me attractive. I struggle with approaching girls, but since I started trying, I've realized that I actually can do pretty well for myself. I just need a shift in my perspective and a bit of hope. He gave me what I needed, not what I asked for, and I can't be more grateful for that. And that was with only one call.
Yeah, so this beautiful gentleman did one of the $200 calls, and this is like a very regular occurrence. Like even just in one call, we can make like massive changes and massive shifts. So if you'd like a $200 coaching call, I will leave a link in the description below to that. Go have fun, go crush those goals. If you have a partner, show them a little bit of love, show them a little bit of gratitude. Do the thing I said before. This is how you make them feel real good. You just, hey, you try and bite me. Bitch, I will bite you after this podcast is over. I'll bite you on the boobs. No. Go have fun, ladies and gentlemen. We love you all very much. We're very grateful for you. And I'm grateful for you, lady.
I'm grateful.
I'm going to kiss the fuck out of you after this podcast is over. And these people don't get to see that. That's just for us and the girls that we date and me putting it on my blog, which I guess they can